The Crucial and Micron news is so devastating that I don't even want to make content about it. I do think people are misunderstanding something, but it also might be worse than what we're expecting. I know 90% of you saw this already, but Micron just announced that they are axing their Crucial brand of consumer-grade products. They are going all in on AI, so after Q2 of 2026, we'll no longer see Crucial RAM or SSDs. With Micron being one of 3 major RAM manufacturers, that doesn't mean that we're going to instantly lose 1/3 of RAM products. They're just cutting their own consumer brand. Micron still has the ability to produce gaming desktop RAM for other companies. Brands like Corsair, G-Skill, and Team Group don't produce the actual RAM chips themselves. The problem is, even though what I just said is true, they're probably still only going to be making RAM for AI companies. I don't think even our biggest PC hardware companies can compete against the venture capital funded AI startups. They will be offering more money to Micron compared to gaming hardware companies. The biggest problem is that I think that this is announcement number 1 of many. I have a feeling that many other companies are probably thinking the same thing right now.
Alright, Shalom. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Kiam. And this is your brother Abawan, back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due. So a little background for this video, right? I am a big computer nerd. Well, not really that big, but I'm still a computer nerd. And I was recently looking into PC parts, okay? And I keep up to date with PC hardware news, gaming news, anime news, the normal nerd stuff that goes on in the world, in case I can see anything edifying that I can go into. And this is something right here, okay? So this is a news article from TheVerge.com. Crucial is shutting down because Micron wants to sell its RAM and SSDs to AI companies instead. Right, so a little bit earlier last year, right, AI companies began to, no, sorry, not AI, but crypto miners began to buy up RAM from, not RAM, but GPUs from the companies that made GPUs, Nvidia and AMD, right? And that increased the prices of GPUs. So now you have AI companies, your OpenAI, your Google with Gemini, your Grok with XAI, right? These corporations that are running these AI companies, because if you remember, a lot of AI farms, right? AI bots, basically a lot of AI warehouses, AI servers have been opened up all over Babylon the Great, and you see the implications that it has on the environment, where water will be where, because of how much energy via electricity and how much water is being wasted on these AI companies, and the reason why water is being used on the AI in the AI farm is basically for the sake of cooling, okay? So the water is being run through the servers, which are just basically large computers, right? Through these AI firms and these AI servers, or these AI I don't know what term that they use for the AI, for the buildings that, where the AI servers are being housed, but the water is being run through those AI servers in order to cool them, and that's what's causing the pollution. So you have different industries, right, and different things that have different industries that have basically how to serve the AI rather than the normal consumer, and because of that you are seeing price hikes. So your electricity bill is going up, your water bill is also going up, because rather than these AI companies themselves right, paying for the amount of electricity and water they use, right, because of Donald Trump and his little big beautiful bill, allegedly, a lot of these AI companies can now outsource the payment of their extra use of power and water to the private individual in Babylon. So another industry has been taken by the AI bubble or the AI industry, and that is basically your computer parts industry, right? So Crucial which is basically a brand of a storage brand. So they create RAM and they create SSDs, right? So they are a storage company that makes RAM and SSDs for computer desktop systems, right? So Crucial, which is actually owned by Micron. Now Micron is the actual parent company that makes the RAMs and SSDs, but they make the RAMs and SSDs under the Crucial brand. And I hope you guys are following me. Now they are not actually shutting down, but what is actually happening, right, is that they are now selling their RAMs directly to the AI companies. And because these AI companies are buying up so much of their RAM, they have less RAM to sell to the average consumer. And because of that, the RAM prices are currently going through the roof. Okay, so if we go to, let's do that real quick, Amazon, right? Let's do that real quick. DDR5 RAM, Amazon. Let's do that. Right, if you go to if you go to Amazon and look up the price of RAM currently, whoo, god damn. So like about that, and the RAM is in naira, right? So 504,634 naira, which is roughly around $300 to $400 or so, right? And look at and this one 688. Let's see if I can change the address to the US so that it will give us the RAM in. Let's see if you can change the address to US so we can see the RAM in dollars. Okay, and I don't think I'll be able to do that. So the Amazon cut my location quick. So I don't think I'll be able to. I don't think I'll be able to do that because it's telling me to sign in, but I don't have an Amazon account, right? So all we are going to do is we're just going to quickly do the conversion. So 500,000 naira to dollars, just to show you how much that is. So 2 sticks, right, of DDR5 16 gig RAM costs $344. Okay, and that's this is like the low end. Okay, because normally, right, because normally right, the highest a RAM can go is 64 gigs of one stick of a 64 gig RAM, or 2 sticks of 32 gig RAM, right? Because majority of your new PC motherboards support up to 128 gigs of RAM. So some of these RAM sticks are going for $1,000, right, and up. So let's see if we can find 64 gig RAM, because what we're seeing here it is, and this is it right here. So Team Group T-Force Delta DDR5 64 gig RAM, and it is a million, and it is 1,582 Nigerian naira. So if you do the conversion once again, you can, unfortunately I can't change to dollar, right? So 1 million, and that is basically $689. Okay, $689, and some can even go as far as $1,000. Let's see if we can do Amazon US store and see if we can open that up and see whether we can, and still, and you can clearly see that, no matter where I open in Amazon, it's hard locked to Nigeria, so you have to do the conversion. So just that's just to show you how expensive RAM is currently, because it's not supposed to be this expensive. Okay, at most, your RAM is supposed to take you or cost you like what, $100 or so, right? But this RAM is going up all the way to $600, which is far more expensive than any other computer parts that are being used, right? And that's just showing you just how bad this whole situation has gotten. So yeah, because these AI companies, okay, no thanks, because these AI companies are now directly buying up the RAM from the manufacturers, and because there are less of these RAMs to go around, the price has gone up once again. Okay, and this is another industry that is basically getting a price hike because of the AI making the prices go up. So let's understand something crucial. Okay, it's not shutting down, it's just cutting off, it's just stopping sales to regular consumers, and it's only dealing directly with these AI companies. And it's the same thing, and Micron, their parent company, is also increasing their sales load and how much sales they are going to be making to these AI companies. So let's read a little bit of this article. The long-standing provider of consumer memory is winding down as prices spike and Micron shifts its focus to AI. Micron is retiring the Crucial brand, marking the end of its line of budget-friendly solid-state drives, which are your SSDs, that's your storage, and RAM, which are your memory kits, right? That's your memory kits, as reported earlier by video cards. In an announcement on Wednesday, Micron says winding down its consumer-focused business will improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster-growing segments, aka the AI companies, right? So they're not actually closing the company or closing down their company, right? But they are shifting from consumer facing to corporation facing. So they are dealing directly and exclusively with these AI companies. And the reason why is because not only are they buying directly and buying in bulk, but they are also paying more. Okay. Now you may ask yourself, or if you or not really, because if you're in a man of the law, you should already be able to tell, right? AI things going up, right? You should already be able to tell, as soon as AI was mentioned, what's the reason why this is relevant, and how does this relate to Bible prophecy? Why this is of course the algorithm towards the MOTB, right? Because as I've already mentioned here before, that AI, same with crypto, will be a central player in the MOTB system because crypto is the buying and selling while AI is the control center. Okay, that why do you think what else do you think is the reason why Esau Edom is pushing AI so heavily right now? Because AI is the only way in which these devils will be able to process the large amounts of information that's going to be coming from these C heaps, right? So you're going to be constantly sending and receiving, and you're interacting with data. So AI is the only way to process these large amounts of data. Basically, Esau's agenda, if everybody gets C heaps, you're going to be seeing data being passed to and from, right, these servers where everybody's credentials and micro C heap information will be stored. So that's basically what Esau is trying to do, right? He's trying to use this AI to be, the brain for his NWO Great Reset and the brain and memory storage for his C heaps, right? But because these AIs are so demanding in what technologies they need and such a large resource drain, that's why you see things like this happen. So they are basically destroying other industries, right, in order to push up this AI because Esau is trying to make or is trying to push forward the MOTB, and that's what's happening right now. So continuing the article, the brand shutdown is a huge blow for PC builders and hobbyists. So talking about that, I got cut off. So that's basically the gist of it, and like I said, all this is being done because of, like I said, gradualism towards the MOTB. So let's keep reading the article. Micron is retiring the Crucial brand, marking the end of its line of budget-friendly solid-state drives and RAM kits, as reported earlier by video cards. In an announcement on Wednesday, Micron says winding down its consumer-focused business will improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster growing segments, aka the AI companies. The brand shutdown is a huge blow for PC builders and hobbyists who are already dealing with skyrocketing RAM prices linked to a surge in demand from AI companies. OpenAI, for example, struck a deal with SK Hynix and Samsung to make up to 900,000 DRAM per month for its target project, right? So these AI companies are beginning to basically directly go to the manufacturers of the RAM, right, and the storage in order to buy them to, for their little AI projects, right, to increase the amount of AI servers that they have in order to further push this AI. Similar to how you had this whole semiconductor shortage that's going on, right, and these different semiconductor factories that were about to be built, and that was for the sake of creating for the sake of the MOTB, since the MOTB will primarily be using that semiconductor technology, okay, especially for its chip, for the chips, right? And it's a similar situation here, so that's why, okay, the fact that these AI companies are buying up all this RAM is relevant, because basically what you're seeing is the gradualism towards the MOTB, like I said, and Esau Edom pushing for his MOTB. So these devils are continuing the process in order to crown their enterprise, as the scriptures say. So let's get that precept. Right, let's get that precept. So I'll start from here. So this is the book of Job 5 verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. Can. And of course, as it is written, that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. And secondly, like the scripture said, and like we just read, right? The Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he taketh the crafty in their own enterprise. Okay, and that's exactly what we see happening right now with Esau Edom. Even though these devils are preparing the MOTB and about to push it throughout the four corners of the earth and preparing this wickedness, right? And preparing this and their wicked agenda, we know that it will not succeed, right? Because as the scriptures say, let's get that precept, right? While they are eating, and basically Esau Edom will take these devils out before they can fill their belly. And I forgot how that precept goes, right? I forgot how that precept goes. Right, so let's go to that. So this is the book of Job 20 verse 23. Osaka. This is the book of Job 20 verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Can. And when the scriptures goes into Esau Edom succeeding, right? When the scriptures goes into Esau Edom making his enterprise a success and basically succeeding in the wickedness that he is planning to do on the earth, the scriptures speak about how the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will catch these devils at the moment when they are about to crown their evil agenda, right? The Great Reset and the NWA success. At the moment when they are about to do that, the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will bring swift judgment and swift destruction upon them, showing you that even, right, though these devils are pushing for this their NWO Great Reset and this whole agenda, that ultimately they will not be able to even enjoy, right, the wickedness that will be brought forth out of it, because the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will catch them right in the middle of them, of them fully realizing their wicked agendas. Okay, and this is just a part of that, or rather I should say the beginning stages of that. Okay, so when you see Esau pushing for this AI, you need to understand that AI is basically going to be the central information hub, right, where all the information of this of Esau's wicked system is being stored and processed. Okay, that's the reason why this AI is being pushed out here for all you people to use and get used to, because basically, man, every single part of this system will be controlled by AI. That's why the AI is taking your jobs. That's why whenever you have a customer service issue, right, you are being redirected now to AI rather than an actual human person. That's why Esau Edom is trying to push more and more towards this AI. Guys like Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, in order to bring to fruition the MOTB, they need to improve and continue to push this AI towards the people, so that you people out here in the world can become desensitized to the idea of AI, right? Artificial intelligence everywhere. And this will basically be what Esau will use as, right, like I said, the brain of their NWO that will be controlling all the information, controlling all the surveillance, right, all the credentials and so on and so forth. Esau wants to lock you out of the system. He tells the AI to go lock you out of the system, and the AI does it. Okay, that's basically what this system is moving towards right now. Now I'm getting closer to that time, man. It's high time for you Jakes to repent, right? To look onto the things that are happening on the earth and repent, because the hour of the time is at hand, right? The hour of temptation is here. The hour of temptation is at hand, right? The hour of temptation is here, and Esau is soon going to start pushing this MOTB out here, man. Be warned. So with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Basham Hawashai, Basham Rakakwadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the spirits of Yakam and your acquires were edified. Shalom.